ICP has rallied up over 27% since the 5th of August, and well, things are starting to really heat up with the price action. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the price action on the daily and weekly timeframes, sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think the price action is heading next. As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's jump into the charts. So we're going to kick things off by taking a look here at ICP on that daily timeframe. So this is ICP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart. And as I said, things have seemed to really have heated up since the 5th of August. So as we can see from this low to where we are today, it's 27.98%. And today's candle is trying to push that boundary up towards the 50 SMA, the yellow line that's coming through the chart. The blue line is the 50 EMA, and these are sat at $8.19.6 to $8.12.9. Okay, so you can see a good run to the upside. But are we going to see a breakout? Are we going to see ICP rally higher than these, or are they going to be resistance? Well, we've already met our minimum expectations, okay? Our minimum expectations were right up here at $7.87.9, okay? Now, we should typically go a little bit higher, and we would be looking for the price action to rally up more towards the $8.53.8 to $9.012. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a yellow box area right in this little sweet spot right here. Okay, and of course we can see that there's this 1.618 right here at $9.83.6. I can go ahead and just pop a little line in here, and we'll go ahead and mark this one up as a 1.618. Okay, we'll do that. So we can see that there's this real interesting area just here in the price action, right, where we can see there's an impulsive breakout target, there's the typical range target, and then there's where we are right now, hitting resistances. So why do I mark all this up? Well, we're marking this up because we did have a fantastic 5-wave move to the upside. This started on the 5th of July with a great run to the upside into this pocket of resistance, which I'm pulled across all the way here, coming in at $10.75.3 to $11.23.9. This is where we saw this 5th wave kind of finishing off with a high coming in at I can't even see what that is. Let me go ahead and put a little bar on there, $10.98.6, okay? So a great run to the upside. Now, because we have a 5-wave move, let me go ahead and find some empty space just over here, okay? When we have a 5-wave move like this, this typically isn't going to be on its own. It's going to be married up with something, okay? Normally, it's another 5-wave movement, which would look like this, okay? And you'd end up with a double zigzag, or sorry, a double 5-wave movement, and they call it a zigzag pattern, and its technical term is zigzag, but it would be called an ABC sometimes. Sometimes it gets called something like a 5-3-5, depending on how many different analysts you have and all that kind of stuff kind of talking to you. Lots of different terminologies, but they all mean the same thing essentially, right? We have an inverted zigzag pattern, a zigzag pattern, a 5-3-5, ABC, like so many different things, but ultimately it represents the same thing. 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, and that is kind of the importance of what I'm talking about when it comes to ICP, because we have a 5-wave move to the upside. Now, typically this retracement is going to be between 50 and 88.2%. Okay, so if I go ahead and measure that out, you can kind of see that our pocket of interest would be right down here, which is where we actually landed on the 88.2% there, and 50%, which will be right where we're kind of pushing on the boundary now. So if we take a look at this, $6.26.5 and $7.99, right? We can see that this is on our low range, exactly where that price action went. And we can see it's right where we're bounding on that push right now. It's 50% of the 5-wave movement, right? That is our resistance right at this moment in time. And we came down 88.2%, which is a typical wave 2. That gets me very excited about the future for ICP because it shows that we have the potential for a big run to the upside, of which 1.618 would happen. And that's the impulsive trigger point right here coming in at this level of $9.83.6. Okay, so what we have going on are some really interesting things. We can see that the structures are adhering to Elliott wave theory quite nicely. So what's the next move? Well, we're looking for 5 waves, which means we have a wave 1, we have a wave 2, we come up to that area on the 200 EMA resistance, we come down for a wave 4, and then we rally back up again. Okay, and we go up higher than the previous 5th wave movement. Now, that should, in theory, see a big wave 3, maybe getting a push up higher, bit of a pull to the downside, and then a fifth wave tapping into this pocket of previous support resistance right up here in this range of $11.73.8, sorry, to $12.99.6. That's going to be where we finish off an A, B, C structure, or a zigzag pattern, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay, so for ICP, it finds itself in a really good spot. But the question is this going to hold, or are we going to collapse down and break out of this, or break down from this structure? At the moment, it's kind of up in the air, right? We are facing resistances on the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA. There's a chance that we might only rally up towards $8.53 before completely breaking down. There's hope that we rally up, and there's hope that we kind of complete our structures here, and everything so far is adhering to structure, so you would think that it would. But I'm going to throw it out there. Bitcoin could potentially deter the market and do something very different. The Fed could do something like an interest rate cut all of a sudden and spook the market, and everything changes overnight. There's a lot of things that could fundamentally go wrong, but as it stands right now, the market looks very promising. Our stochastic RSIs are giving me a little bit of room for concern. We're overbought on the daily, 8-hour, 4-hourly time frame, so we are looking at weaknesses from a momentum standpoint. So lots of things to kind of be fearful of, but I wouldn't necessarily be going long until I get confirmation of a breakout situation. I'm going to be looking for closed positions above the 50 AMA, 50 SMA, 50 EMA, that kind of stuff. And then really taking it from there. But as it stands right now, the market's looking pretty good. We hope to see this breakout. If we don't, then of course we'll be looking maybe for a nested position, which will be very, very good. We can see here there is this idea of a mini 5-wave movement going on right inside here. So we might find ourselves something like this on a daily time frame, right? Rejection, then bounce, push down, then bounce up into that range. And then that could be a wave 1 of a much, much, much bigger impulsive move. So there's a few ways that this changes, but for the most part, it's very exciting to see how this is going to play out on the daily time frame. This is going to be something that takes a few weeks. I'm not weeks into months. I'm not expecting this to kind of be a quick win. If we roll this up into a weekly, you kind of see the scale of this thing. We're just tracking this little move, this little tiny move right here, because this could potentially also be a problem. We might start to see a big collapse in the market before we get into the next big run. I'm looking at this though through a very good lens, because I do think we have a great reversal here with a great 5-wave move, which of course means we are going to be targeting out these higher ranges at some point in the future. If we take a look at these, we can see we're 0.618 is exactly where we've kind of found resistance at the minute. It's right here on the chart, $19.71. This is a previous area of resistance as well, right there on the 786, coming in at $27.54. This is in the previous area of support. Okay, so all of these numbers are kind of resonating well together. They're kind of showing us exactly what is going on. So this is a huge pocket of resistance. I hope that we can rally through it. When we do, then we can then start talking about the 1 to the 1.236, which basically is $42 to $67. Once we kind of get through there, and if we get a closed position above that 1.236, then of course we're going to be talking about 1.618, which is an impulsive breakout, which we've been talking about on all of these in the zigzag patterns. That's $144, and that would only be a minor stopgap before going up even higher. So ICP has some pretty decent levels to it, but there's a bit of resistance. Conservatively, I'm thinking 42 to 67, but I'd love to see a breakout above that. And the structures at the minute are giving me good vibes to think that things are playing out quite nicely overall. But I think, yeah, we've still got a lot more volatility in the market. We've got a lot more liquidity to be extracted from the market. So it's not going to be smooth sailing, at least not in my opinion. You can let me know what your opinion is though. How high do you think ICP can go? Where do you think the price action is heading? Let me know in the comments down below, or better still, join us in our free Discord server. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this video useful, informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And guys, check out my second channel for the Cardano technical analysis right here.